So the next exercise now concerns the free energy devices. And you see here on that slide a device you might know already, that is a Markgraf from Keshe. And you see here this cube, that is the cube of this dimension, basically. That is a Q6 generator, also free energy device, comparable to Keshe components. And that is an image, thank you to Manuela and Albert again. That is a Q6 we can also communicate with during this exercise now. And I will explain more details a little bit later. And then you see this cloud, this plasma cloud, and also plasma cloud, that has something to do with plasma beings we can communicate with if we communicate with free energy devices. And before we start with the exercise, I would like to show you that slide, just to remember that we should move or should get into a positive emotional mood. That we have learned is important if we communicate with an object, a matter object, like the wall or single molecule or whatever, but it is the same for all aspects of the creation, like plants and animals. And a very good impression is what children are doing when they hug animals, for example, or when they are in the nature and they are happy about the flowers and this kind of things. Or this wonderful image here at the bottom where the people, I think it's Vietnam or a country like this, where they hug trees. That is something we should encourage the people in telepathy centers, in our families and so on, expressing this love to nature, recognizing the beauty of nature, of the creation very much, because that raises the consciousness and that helps in telepathic communication. Well, now, we might have participants owning a free energy device from Keshe, for example, like this Markgraf, or another free energy device like a Q generator. We might have participants who are currently building a free energy device, and they have just a few components available at the moment, like wires and this capacitors and so on and so on. And then we might have participants today who do not have any free energy device available. And therefore, to enable all participants to communicate with free energy devices, we separated this exercise. So on the left, this addresses participants who already have a component, like a Markgraf or another one, or they are just building and developing one. And the right part, the right four questions concern people who do not have any free energy devices available. Possibly they never have heard of free energy devices. But what we do, I will lead you as well through this exercise, is that we make contact to the plasma being, to the consciousness of our available free energy device, or to the plasma being, to the consciousness who already knows that the components coming together will lead to that final product or to the final unit. So again, for those just building a free energy device, they just need to focus their intention to all components, or if they like, to one certain component where they would like to know whether this component is working or not, right? So to tell you one example, during a building process of a Q generator, one participant of that workshop has used a copper wire with a black coating, which shouldn't be there on that copper wire. So this workshop participant asked the copper wire during the building process whether that black coating, this small part of that copper wire, would have a negative impact to the final product. So the person received the answer from the copper wire that it won't have impact because it will disappear during the building process. And exactly that happened during the building process. At the end, this black surface coating disappeared. So that is something telepathic communication you can use during the building process, even of a free energy device. So we will cover, and that is now a more complex exercise, we will cover the following 4 questions. Dear, and in green, the bolded part of the sentence in green indicates that you replace by your own device or component. You can say, dear Margraf component, or dear Keshe guns, or whatever. And now it is the opening dialogue in respect. My name is, for example, Andrea or Ashley or Raoul or whatever. What is your name? And you just make a note what the name you have perceived is. Okay? So be surprised. Just be surprised what happens. And then we do something strange. You see that Margraf power unit, and most of the people who would like to use this kind of devices would like to reduce power consumptions or replace this energy by free energy. But what we are doing is we ask a different question. So, for example, if you have a Margraf power unit, possibly something like this here, or you have a Q generator, we ask this unit in the second question whether it is possible by this unit that it can help to heat up water or to boil water. Total different expectation, right? And if the answer would be yes, you then ask, well, what is necessary that you can do that, even that was not planned, okay? Then you see many power cables. Here in this example, you see a power cable. You see here a power cable on the right side connected to the cube, to the Q6 cube. So we are asking whether it is necessary to have a power cable. So even if you own a Margraf power unit, this one, we ask this power unit whether it is necessary to be connected via this power cable to the power grid. And then we will see what the answer is, right? And then you have now 1 minute again to formulate an individual question or more questions you might have to your power units or your components. And we have the similar questions with one exception to this Q6 generator, which is shown here. That is a picture. Thank you to Albert and Manuela for sending in the pictures. And I can tell you, Alma, that is the name of that Q generator, was asked whether Alma would agree to participate. And you will, if you connect to Alma, you will receive that special emotion about participating in this exercise. So you can directly connect via the expression of love, the expression of respect and curiosity by focusing to this device using that image. Dear Q generator Alma, my name is Ashley, for example. May I get in contact with you? So that first question is a little bit different because the people already owning a Markgraf or another free energy component, we assume that it is allowed to get in contact, but we don't know with Alma. So the first question is, after we introduced ourselves to Alma, may I get in contact with you? And if yes, then we ask the same questions as listed on the left side to Alma. So that is a more complex exercise. Therefore, I will lead you to the beginning of that exercise, and then I will leave you for 10 minutes. And I will softly give you a trigger when it's time to come back, when you can say, thank you so much, may I stay in contact with you, and this kind of things. Okay? So you have now, from now on, 1 minute to formulate your own question for now, or questions if you like. Okay. So, are you ready? I will lead you to the stage, and then you can, if you have received the first answer, you can come back, open your eyes, make notes, and go by yourself back into the connection, asking question 2, coming back, making notes, going again into the stage environment, asking Q3, and so on until you have finished. And after 10 minutes, I will softly call you back. So that is the process. More complex, but you have enough time to do that. Are you ready? So again, we sit in an upright position, close our eyes, and focus our attention on our breathe. We breathe slowly and evenly, in and out. We focus our attention to our muscles, relax them if necessary, and breathe in and out. We are excited, we smile, and we step out of our body. We stand in our current room. And in front of us, we see that free energy device. It could be Alma, we see on that image, or it could be our own free energy device or the components. And we smile and we feel the love to the components, to the devices. And we start this dialogue, opening the dialogue kindly with a loving attention, and start to ask our questions. Okay. Slowly. You can say goodbye and come back and open your eyes and making final notes. Okay, now as a final exercise, please, everybody, do this exercise, stepping out of the body, hugging yourself, and asking the following question. Dear mind, did you or another inner aspect of mine alter any information received? Yes or no? So if you have received a yes, then, and I would like to refer to the part 1 of the webinar, you can follow up with the mind or another aspect, what part of the information was altered, and then you can remove that information. If there was an alteration of 100% of the information, please don't be angry. Just tell them, please, for the next time, let us align so that I can use the information. That is very seldom the case that this happens, but just to mention this to you. And if there was a no inner aspect, or I did an alteration of that information, you can trust by 100%. Very interesting that we have received that 43% were not allowed to get in contact. So that is interesting. And I will come back to that a little bit later. But 8 received a name. 9 had contact to the device or to the components. And very interesting that those who had contact received the answer, yes, I can boil water. None received, no, I can't do that. And 2 of them received how to do that. And I will give you no answer to that, but it is very interesting if you receive information, if you work on that, how this works. And this has to do with our consciousness, with the synchronization to the aspects of the creation. That is just my little piece of information I would like to provide to you. But if you work with free energy components, it is recommended that you work on a synchronization of your consciousness with the free energy device. That is absolutely vital. And if this is not based on a pure intention, aligned with that what you are telling and that what you are doing, then that is like stopping the activity of the free energy device. I will give you an example. If you have the intention to produce free energy devices for the benefit of mankind, that is what you are telling the people. but your intention is different, like I will make profit out of this number of units, then there is a conflict between your intention and the service to mankind, and that's what you are telling. So the energy device won't work as expected. Therefore, if you align your intention, which is based on service to mankind and based on love, and you tell this and you do this, then you come into sync. In addition, if you have fear or you have doubts that this will function, that it won't work, because we reach now a consciousness level where these pieces play more and more an important role. If you do not have a contact or you have a denial of contact, then there's something you can work on with your mind, with your inner aspects. What is the reason of that? And what I will tell you as one possible solution is to communicate with your heart chakra. So also your heart chakra or your different chakras, they do have consciousness, because your heart chakra is supporting your God core, if you like, and the love. You can ask your heart chakra for support. What was wrong? Well, what is the reason I was not in contact with a free energy component or device? Just as one possible approach. And as you see, yes, the Keshe or whatever free energy component is able to boil water. And that has something to do with your intention and the synchronization with the water then. And 2 persons have received how to do this. And again, 9 persons received the information, no, it is not necessary that I'm connected to the power grid. It is not necessary that you use a power cable, possibly your connection has, your device has. It's just our consciousness and our intention and our synchron alignment with the device that is very, very important. So what you can do is to communicate with your device, and if you have perceived a name, now you can address more focused that being, this consciousness being behind. Now we come to Alma. Again, we have no contact, whatever the reason is, and 1 or 2 persons, they felt a hesitation. So that has again something to do with you, not with Alma or the device. So you can ask your heart chakra or your mind or your body cells or whatever you would like to communicate with, what their opinion is the reason for that hesitation of Alma. That could be very simple, like I know we have some cases where one Keshe engineer has a different opinion on other technologies like Q generators. So if you have doubts that we have a similar level of technologies, then you express that possibly during the communication with the Q generator. Okay, but the same here, the context, they answered yes, Alma can boil the water. Even that is not intended as a product, but there is some information I can give you. 10 persons receive that, how you can achieve that. And again, that is the consciousness level where we are coming closer and closer, the 5D and above consciousness level. That is the reason we are doing this kind of exercise at the moment. Just make a screenshot. And now, what else? one person received, yes, I need to be connected to the power grid. But 16 mentioned, no, that is not necessary. So that is something I would mention to you, that one person who built a Q6 generator wanted from his heart reducing energy by connecting that to the power grid. And then the Q6 answered, I don't need a connection to power grid because that is your wish. Let's do this with a connection to the power grid. So that is something which also could happen, but I really recommend to communicate on this consciousness level with the free energy device and with your inner aspects, like mind or other inner aspects, who is responsible for this or this. If the inner aspects, if your Merkaba, that is also covered in the part 1, and the mind told you or tell you all is okay, the communication was fine, then you can talk with the free energy device what is the reason you need connection to the power grid. And then you will receive the information why you have this one feedback, which is out of the other feedbacks, right? And again, you have received additional answers, information based on possibly the individual question you asked, and you have the same here. 11 people have received additional information. So that was amazing. That was overwhelming. You had a very complex exercise because we had many questions where you toggled between communication, back making notes, communication, coming back making notes. And that is basically moving between the left and right hemisphere. And you did that great, really. That was excellent. But I think this information or this communication shows that the communication, telepathic communication with free energy devices helps or might help a lot in developing and using free energy devices more and more. And or not purely energy devices who are based on this kind of technology. And what I can tell you, that extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, they create their spaceships based on synchronized intentions and heart-based energy. And that wormhole I showed you at the beginning of that session, which will play a very important role for mankind and telepathy centers in future, are also created based on our intention and synchronized intentions and heart-based energy. So that is the reason we step by step moving into that direction to understand, to communicate with different aspects of vibration of consciousness, nothing else is this, which in 3D is a lower vibration of consciousness, which is expressed as matter, if you will. Okay, so that was excellent. Now we have a 10 minutes tea coffee break, and then we will start our final very interesting exercise with a black hole. So this final exercise is very special, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I will tell you not too much about that, but let's have a look to the next slide. What we are doing now is we make contact to the black hole, which is in the galactic center of our Milky Way, which is indicated here. So that is a very good representation of the location of the black hole. And if you look to that image here, you see the Milky Way disk, if you like, in that position here. And you see those two star constellations, Sagittarius and Scorpius. And you see here in the darker part with the dust, the center of our Milky Way, this star here, and in a kind of triangle between this edge of Sagittarius and this star is the galactic center with the black hole, which we will contact in a minute. Okay. What we will do is the same as with all other aspects of the creation. So we say, hello, I'm Andrea or Ashley or whoever, Ray. May I get in contact with you? That is the kind approach of an aspect in the creation. Again, we have this positive emotional expression. We are in love. We are curious, because you can be curious about that. We have respect. We have that attitude of, I would like to learn. That is always the same. And if you receive a yes for that contact, then you can ask your individual question or questions, and you have you will get enough time to formulate one or two questions. You might ask black hole. That could be even a scientific question if you are a physicist, an astrophysicist, or whatever. Or it could be something very normal. Do you perceive emotions or this kind of things, for example? What is your task in the creation? This questions you also could ask. But now there's another thing. It would be great if you would accept questions asked by the black hole. And there is a reason for that. I will come back to that after the exercise. It could be that the black hole asks questions to you. Okay? And it would be great if you would be open to answer the questions to the black hole. So I do not know what the questions would be asked by the black hole, but I just would kindly ask you to be open to receive questions and to answer those questions. And now I will allow 1 minute for individual question or question to the black hole. And then, because that approach is a little bit different, I will lead you to this contact. Okay, so from now on, you have 1 minute for your individual question or questions you might ask the black hole in our Milky Way. I then again will allow 10 minutes for that communication. Could be that will be a very intense communication with that black hole consciousness. And I will softly call you back then after that after the 10 minutes. And then again, we will have a poll. Don't forget to say thank you and goodbye after communication. Just a quick hint. And I think we can start now. Before I go into that contact and I lead you to a certain point, please try to imagine this picture with a black hole, to keep that in your imagination. And then you can start that communication by telling the black hole, I'm Andrea, for example, I would like to learn a little bit. May I get in contact with you? Would you like to give an answer to my question? Or may I answer a question you might have to me? This kind of things, 10 minutes. And I think we are ready now. And we sit again in an upright position and we close our eyes. We focus our attention to our breath. We breathe slowly and evenly. We focus our attention to our neck muscles. Relax if necessary. Breathe slowly and evenly. We relax our shoulder muscles if necessary after that break. And breathe slowly and evenly. We are a little bit excited, but very curious what will happen, and we smile. We breathe slowly and evenly and step out of our body. We look to the wall in front of us and we see that picture, that image of the Milky Way with that black hole in the center. We breathe slowly and evenly. We smile. With the next breath in, we expand our consciousness so that we feel every single atom of our room. We can touch every single atom. We breathe slowly and evenly. With the next breath in, we expand our consciousness and we can feel and touch every single atom of our country, every rock, every flower, every tree, every water. We smile and we are full of love for that. We breathe slowly and evenly. With the next breath in, we expand our consciousness and we can feel and touch the whole earth. Every single atom of Mother Gaia, of earth. We love every single aspect of Gaia. And we are so much in joy and gratitude for Gaia. We breathe slowly and evenly. With the next breath in, we expand our consciousness to the Milky Way we see in front of us, in front of the wall. We feel every single star, every single planet of our Milky Way. We are so full of love for the Milky Way, for every single star. And now we focus on that black hole in the center of our Milky Way and send our love, express our joy to contact the black hole now. We are full of gratitude and joy for that communication. And we give that black hole a loving hug. And now we start our communication. So if you slowly close your communication with a black hole, say thank you, goodbye, and you can come back and open your eyes.